entitled "Mom Slapped Me for Not Giving Up My Restaurant Table." I never thought something like this would happen to me. About an hour ago, I was literally slapped in the face by a complete stranger, a mom who thought she had more right to my restaurant table than I did. I'm still reeling. So this evening, I decided to treat myself to dinner at a new Italian restaurant that just opened in town. It's a small place that's been getting a lot of buzz, and it's usually packed. I went alone because I had a rough day at work and just wanted some good pasta and quiet time. I managed to snag a table for two near the window. Lucky me, because the place was crowded and people were waiting. I had already waited nearly 20 minutes for this spot, so I was feeling pretty lucky and hungry. I was just settling in, sipping water and checking the menu, when I noticed a woman hovering nearby with a little boy and a toddler in a stroller. At first I didn't think much of it. Maybe she was waiting for a table like everyone else. I figured the staff would handle it. But then the woman, let's call her entitled mom, EM, steps closer and clears her throat at me. I look up, a bit confused, and give a polite smile. Before I can say anything, she goes, "Are you alone?" in a sharp tone. She has that impatient mom stance, one hand on the stroller, the other on her hip, tapping her foot. The little boy beside her, maybe around 6 years old, is whining about being hungry. I nodded and said, "Yes, it's just me." I already had a bad feeling. Her eyes lit up like she'd hit the jackpot. "Great. Then you don't need this whole table." EM snaps, already moving to pull out the empty chair across from me. "We need this table more than you do. My kids are starving." For a second, I'm too stunned to respond. Did she really just say that? I stammer something like, I'm sorry, but I'm actually about to order. I waited for this table." I gesture to the other people waiting by the door. "There are others ahead of you in line." I was trying to be polite but firm. My heart started to beat a little faster. Confrontation makes me nervous, and this lady was coming on strong. EM didn't care at all. She rolls her eyes dramatically. "My children need to eat. You sitting here by yourself is just selfish." She actually says I'm selfish for dining alone. I notice a couple of people at nearby tables turning their heads, sensing the brewing drama. The restaurant staff are busy, though. No one has come over yet. I try to stay calm. "Ma'am, I understand it's frustrating to wait, but I got here first and I'm already seated. I can't give you my table. I'm sorry." I really did try to sound sympathetic, even though inside I'm going, what the hell? There's an entire line of folks waiting, and she zeroed in on me because I'm alone. Her little boy climbs onto the empty chair now, and EM sort of shoves it in closer to my table, as if to stake her claim. "No, we're sitting. I'm sure you haven't even ordered yet," she says. She was right. I had just been looking at the menu, but that's beside the point. "I was about to order," I reply, voice a bit shaky. She has essentially cornered me at my own table now. She's standing over me while her son is eyeing the breadsticks on my table. The waiter had dropped off a complimentary basket. The toddler in the stroller starts fussing, probably due to the commotion. "Come on, be a good girl and let us have the table," EM coos in this fake sweet voice that drips with condescension. "You can wait a bit longer, can't you? We have children here." She says children like it's supposed to be a trump card that beats everything. Her son actually grabs one of the breadsticks and starts munching on it, which sends EM into a triumphant grin. I'm in disbelief. This kid is literally eating off my table now. I'm all for feeding hungry kids, but this is ridiculous. "Excuse me?" I say more loudly, trying to get the attention of a waiter or someone. "I was sitting here. You can't just take my table." My voice is shaking, and I feel the heat of embarrassment creeping up my neck. Everyone in the vicinity is definitely watching now. I catch a disapproving look from an older couple at the next table, though I'm not sure if it's aimed at me or the mom. I feel mortified and angry all at once. EM waves a hand at a waiter finally coming over. "Excuse me," she calls out in an irate tone. "We've been waiting forever, and my kids are hungry. This person is sitting alone at a table for two and won't let us sit. Isn't that ridiculous?" The waiter, a young guy looking kind of anxious, comes up and tries to assess the situation. He asks what's going on, and I quickly jump in. "Hi, sorry, I was already given this table. She just came up and..." She cuts me off, raising her voice. "We are a family of 3, and we need space. She can sit at the bar or something, or she can wait, like we had to. It's absurd that you'd let one person hog a whole table during the dinner rush." I can see the waiter is a bit flustered. He knows I was seated properly because he was the one who seated me 15 minutes ago. He stammers, "Ma'am, she has been seated already. We have a wait list. Did you put your name?" EM doesn't let him finish either. "Yes, my name is on the list, but My kids are small and need food now. Do you expect them to stand and wait? She's just one person. This table could fit my whole family. Her voice is getting louder and more shrill, and her little boy is now swinging his legs while eating the breadstick, oblivious or not caring about the drama he's in the middle of. I feel a mix of anger and humiliation. I shouldn't have to justify myself, but there I am, saying, I waited for this table. I also have a right to eat here. My voice is soft, and I hate that it sounds more like pleading than commanding. The waiter tries again to diffuse. Ma'am, I can get you the next available table. It should be maybe a 10-minute wait. I'm sorry, but she was seated first. EM absolutely loses it at that. No, unacceptable. My kids can't wait that long. This selfish girl needs to get up now. And then she turns to me, leans down so her face is uncomfortably close to mine, and hisses, Get up! Her sudden change from faux sweet to outright venomous scares me. I instinctively lean back, my heart pounding in my ears. Please back off, I say, holding my ground as best as I can. You're being really aggressive. My hands are actually shaking at this point. The entitled mom then does something I will never forget. She grabs the half-eaten breadstick from her kid and flings it onto my plate, as if to say, the table's hers now. Bits of bread fly everywhere, even hitting my glass of water. That's it, I mutter. I stand up, my legs unsteady, but I'm fueled by adrenaline. You need to leave my table right now, I say as firmly as I can manage. My voice louder now. She straightens up to her full height. She's a bit taller than me and squares her shoulders. Make me, she spits out. For a split second, I actually consider that I might have to physically push past this woman to get out of this situation. My brain is screaming, is this really happening? All around, people are staring. A couple of the host staff are now approaching too, sensing trouble. What happened next is a blur. EM suddenly reaches out and slaps me hard right across my left cheek. The sound cracks through the air, silencing the entire restaurant. I stumble back against the table, completely shocked. My cheek explodes in pain, and for a moment, I just see white. The slap came out of nowhere. I wasn't even touching her. She just hit me. I hear gasps. The waiter yelps, "Oh my God," and steps between us. The little boy has gone quiet, eyes wide. The baby in the stroller starts crying from the noise. I feel my face burning, not just from the slap, but from humiliation. My eyes well up, more from shock than anything. I cannot believe this is happening in public, in a nice restaurant, over a damn table. You psycho! I shout without thinking, voice cracking. The word just flies out of my mouth. EM looks a bit shocked that she actually slapped me too, but she quickly composes herself and says, serves you right for being selfish and rude to a mother. Maybe now you've learned some manners. I'm literally shaking, a hand on my cheek. The restaurant staff have reached us now. The manager, a middle-aged man with a stern look, comes up yelling, "What is going on here?" Before I can even gather myself to speak, EM turns to him with crocodile tears. I kid you not, she starts wailing, "This woman attacked me! She screamed at my child and was about to hit me! I had to defend myself!" What? My brain almost short-circuits when I hear her lie. I was terrified in that moment that the manager or anyone might actually believe her story. She was older, she had kids, she was crying. What if they thought I really was the aggressor? The unfairness of that thought made my blood boil. I finally found my voice, yelling, "She's lying! I never touched her or her kid!" But my words felt flimsy in the face of her hysterics. I look around helplessly. The waiter and a couple at the next table immediately chime in to back me up. "That's not what happened," the older lady at the next table says sharply. "I saw the whole thing. This young woman was just sitting, and this one came and harassed her. Thank goodness someone speaks up." The waiter confirms. Yes, they were on the wait list, but she came to this table and she slapped her, sir. I saw it. EM's face when she realizes the jig is up would have been funny if I wasn't so shaken. The manager's expression turns dark, and he says to EM, "Ma'am, I need you to leave right now. We do not tolerate that behavior." Suddenly, EM goes from angry to desperate. "But my kids haven't eaten," she whines as if she is the victim now. The audacity is unreal. The manager is having none of it. He points toward the door and firmly says, "You need to leave, or I'll call the police." I also hear him say something about how she's banned from the restaurant. At this point, EM starts yelling obscenities, things like, "This place sucks anyway," and "You'll be hearing from my husband, he's a lawyer." The classic Karen parting shot. She roughly grabs her boy by the arm, yanks the stroller, and storms toward the exit. The little boy is crying now too, probably scared and confused. I'm just standing there, shell-shocked, adrenaline crashing, my cheeks still throbbing. As she leaves, she looks back at me with pure hatred and shouts, "I hope you're happy, you selfish witch." Yes, she said witch, not the other word, but loud enough that everyone knew what she meant. Then she's gone, out into the night, leaving a restaurant full of stunned people, and one completely shaken me. I felt a strange mix of anger and pity for those kids who had no idea why their night was ruined, and a mom who taught them that bullying people is okay. But mostly I was shaken and angry. The manager and waiter immediately turned to me, asking if I'm okay, apologizing profusely. Someone hands me an ice pack. Where did that even come from? Maybe from the kitchen. I press it to my face, feeling the stinging coolness, and the tears finally start to fall now that the adrenaline is wearing off. I managed to say, I didn't mean for any of that to happen. The manager shakes his head. "Ma'am, you did nothing wrong. I'm so sorry that happened to you here." He asks if I want the police called to file a report. In the moment, I'm just exhausted and want to go home. I say, I don't know, maybe, but I just need a minute. He kindly says, "Take all the time you need. Your meal is on the house, and if you like, we can pack it to go." I nod numbly. Honestly, I lost my appetite completely, but I wasn't about to say no to free pasta. I paid for that slap in a way. While they boxed up my untouched lasagna, I sat there at the now empty table, ice pack on my face, trying to process what the hell just happened. The restaurant slowly returned to its normal buzz, though I still got sympathetic glances from strangers. One came up to quietly say, "Good on you for standing your ground." That was insane. It helped, a little. In the end, I did decide to let the manager call the police, if only to have an incident report, in case that crazy lady tries something else. A couple of witnesses, including the older couple and the waiter, gave their names and numbers to back up my story. The police took a statement from me right there in the restaurant. The officer was kind and said I could press charges for assault. I told them I need to think about it. At the moment, I was just overwhelmed. They left me with a card and instructions on how to follow up if I choose to. The hostess had quickly pulled the waitlist sheet and gave the officer the name and number EM had given when she arrived, so they actually have her contact info. I went home with a free lasagna and a lot to think about. My cheek has a red mark, and it hurts like hell, but what hurts more is just the shock and embarrassment. I'm an introverted person. I never expected my quiet dinner to explode into a public showdown. I'm still shaking as I write this, so that's my night. I texted my best friend about it when I got home, and even she thought I was pranking her at first because the story sounded so unbelievable. I'm safe at home now, door locked, replaying the incident in my head on a loop instead of sleeping. I keep asking myself if I should have handled it differently. Should I have just given up the table at the start? But no, that was my table, and I had every right to be there. Her being a mother doesn't mean she gets to assault people to skip a line. There's no happy ending to this, at least not yet. I'm left rattled and bruised. Ego more than anything. I'm considering pressing charges once I calm down and think clearly. As much as I dread further conflict, part of me feels I have to follow through. Someone like her shouldn't just walk away after doing something like that. I just never thought I'd be at the center of something like this. Anyway, thanks for reading if you did. I'm gonna try to sleep, though I doubt I'll manage. My face hurts and my mind is racing. What a world we live in, huh? I'll update if anything more happens, but for now I just needed to get this off my chest. Update 1. Hi everyone. I didn't expect to be writing an update to this, but so much has happened in the past couple of days and I need to vent again. First of all, thank you so much for the support and validation. So, the morning after the incident, I woke up with a nice bruise on my cheek, and a resolve to not let that entitled mom get away with it. After barely sleeping, I went down to the police station to officially file an assault charge. The officer who took my statement the night before had already passed along the info, and guess what? Because EM had put her name on the restaurant wait list, and the hostess remembered her, the police actually identified her. They told me her full name and that she lives not far from me. That gave me chills, I'll be honest. It's one thing to be slapped by a random crazy lady, another to realize she could live in my general area. The police told me they'd contact her about the complaint. Well, they sure did. Apparently, when they reached out to EM, she denied everything and even had the audacity to claim I was the aggressor. According to what the officer relayed to me later, EM said that I yelled and menaced her children and that she only slapped me to protect her kids. My jaw dropped when I heard that. This lady lied so effortlessly. If I didn't have witnesses and possibly video evidence, I might have been worried. Fortunately, the officer said multiple people from the restaurant had given statements that matched mine, so EM's story isn't holding much water. In fact, one diner actually emailed cell phone footage of part of the incident to the police. The officer let me know this, and I practically sighed with relief. I haven't seen the video yet, but knowing there's proof beyond my word versus hers made me feel a lot better. However, EM doubling down on her lies made me absolutely furious. I thought maybe once she slept on it, she'd realize she was in the wrong and apologize or something. Nope. She went full-on delusional. The police said they're moving forward and that the case will be referred to the prosecutor to decide on charges. It would likely be a misdemeanor assault charge. I'm definitely going to cooperate and push this as far as I can. I let them know I'm willing to testify and everything. I've never done this kind of thing before, so I'm anxious but also determined. Now here's where things get even more insane. This afternoon, I got a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. I normally let unknown calls go to voicemail, but given everything going on, I answered. The conversation that followed still has me shaking with anger. It was EM's husband. He somehow got my number, I'm guessing from his wife, who likely got it off some paperwork, or maybe from the restaurant contacts. I did give the restaurant my cell number when I put my name down for a table wait list, so maybe she saw it. Or maybe from a police report copy, I'm not sure. He started off in a very condescending tone, basically trying to settle things. He said something like, "My wife informed me of the little misunderstanding at the restaurant. I think we can work this out between us without involving courts." Little misunderstanding? I got pissed immediately, but I stayed calm and told him his wife slapped me and that I've already filed a police report. He then tried to gaslight me, saying his wife only acted in self-defense because I was screaming and threatening to hit her son. I nearly threw my phone. I was so angry hearing that twisted version. I snapped back that his wife was lying and that multiple witnesses and video would prove it. At that, his tone got darker. He basically threatened me. He said, pursuing this will be bad for everyone. My wife is a dedicated mother, and any charges would ruin our family's reputation. Perhaps you should think carefully about whether you want to drag this out. False accusations can have consequences. That last line was what made it clear. He was trying to intimidate me into dropping it. He picked the wrong person on the wrong day. I told him, as fiercely as I could, that I have no intention of dropping anything, and that his wife is lucky I didn't have her arrested on the spot. I also threw in that my reputation was hurt too. I mean, I got slapped in public for goodness sake, and now I'm being painted as some child-attacking villain. I said all that and hung up on him before I could hear any more of his bull. My hands were shaking by the end of that call. I immediately contacted the police officer who has been dealing with my case and told them about the call. They took note of it and said if the husband or EM continues to bother me like that, it could be seen as harassment or witness intimidation, which is a separate issue. That gave me some comfort that at least the authorities are listening and on my side here. The officer advised me not to engage with them further and to document any attempt they make to contact or threaten me. So as of now, this is where things stand. The police have enough evidence, witness statements, and a video clip to support my story. They've taken my official complaint, and it's pending with the local prosecutor. EM and her husband know I'm pursuing it, and they are not happy. Instead of apologizing, they're trying to bully me into silence. Honestly, this all is taking a bigger emotional toll than I expected. Every time my phone rings or I get a notification, I tense up, worried it's them or some drama. I've alerted my family about what's going on now, and they are being supportive. My mom was livid and wanted to confront EM herself. Had to talk her out of that. My dad wants me to follow through fully, even if it means going to court. I'm grateful they're backing me up. I'm still rattled, to be honest. This whole ordeal feels like one long nightmare I can't wake up from. But I'm not going to back down. If I do, that woman learns nothing and just feels vindicated. The thought of her doing this to someone else is what pushes me forward. Maybe she'll think twice next time before assaulting someone over a table. Anyway, I'll come back with another update when I have more news. It looks like this might go legal, and I have no idea how long that will take or what other tricks EM and her family might try. I'm preparing for the worst, frankly. Thank you again for listening and for giving me strength to stand up to this. Update 2. I wish I could say this saga is over, but it's only gotten more intense. Buckle up, because the past couple of weeks have been a roller coaster. Firstly, legal proceedings are underway. EM was officially charged with simple assault. The prosecutor decided to move forward given the evidence. I was informed of a preliminary hearing date, and yes, I actually saw EM in person again at the courthouse. Let me tell you, facing her across a courtroom was surreal and terrifying. It was a brief hearing to formally charge her and for her to enter a plea. She, of course, pleaded not guilty, still acting like I'm the crazy one. My heart was pounding out of my chest the entire time, to be honest. We didn't speak to each other, but she was glaring daggers at me the whole time. Her husband was with her too, and as I walked by with the victim advocate, he muttered a thinly veiled threat at me. I just kept walking, even though it rattled me. The judge at the hearing issued a no-contact order as a condition of her release, which means EM and her family are not allowed to harass me or contact me directly anymore. That was a relief, because after that phone call from her husband, I was genuinely getting paranoid about them showing up or trying something else. Now there's at least a piece of paper saying they'll get in bigger trouble if they do. Not that it stopped EM from being petty in other ways. Aunt Karen even tried to play the victim in a local Facebook group, but that backfired too. Multiple people who saw what happened, one even had video, called her out in the comments, and she deleted her rant in humiliation. Then her lawyer sent a letter absurdly accusing me of defamation for the incident going public. My lawyer basically told them to get lost, given the truth, and video evidence, is on my side. So as of now, we're heading towards a trial unless she decides to plead out, which her husband hinted they won't. This means that, potentially, I'll have to testify in court and relive this whole nightmare in front of a judge and jury. I'm willing to do it, but I'm not going to pretend I'm not anxious as hell. I'm especially nervous about facing her in court and how her lawyer might try to twist the story, but I'm preparing myself. The case likely won't be heard for a couple more months due to backlog, so I've got this cloud hanging over me for a while. It's stressful, but I'm trying to stay strong. I'm doing my best to go about my life in the meantime, throwing myself into work and leaning on friends and family, but it's always hanging at the back of my mind. Emotionally, I'm pretty shaken. I get jumpy in public, and I've been losing sleep as the next steps loom. This has truly been one of the most stressful experiences of my life, far beyond the initial slap. It's even forced me to miss work and spend hours dealing with legal stuff I never thought I'd be involved in, and the aftermath just drags on.